Well, guys, thank you so much for joining. As you guys have been members of the Community Academy, tell me, what has been your experience as you've gone through the program for the first couple months here?
We have had great experience so far. I know it's a long process of building. And I mean, we weren't at the ground, but we were pretty close to the ground and we're still building. But what we have felt that Zach or your team has been helping with significantly is keeping us on track, because we so easily can be distracted. And there's so many other things to do with a brick and mortar as well, that then we just start, we can't stay focused and get our tasks done that we plan to. One, because we don't know how to do it. So with your help, we have so many opportunities to ask questions and then to dig into that. And then we try and do it on our own. And then when we can't, we have you guys to bounce ideas off of. And so there's so many things, but that's just the first thing. It kept us on target.
I love that. So accountability and then instruction are the two biggest pieces that Tammy, you walked away with. How about yourself, Kate?
Yeah, I think the instruction piece is huge for us. I feel like so many times, like, we've tried to run ads before, things like that, and it can be overwhelming, and there's so many options to choose. And so, the process of like walking us through that and being able to look with an expert at, what's working in the ads and what's not working and what should we change and when should we stop and things like that have been really helpful for us, I think.
Yeah. So that guidance and that ability to bounce questions back and forth and feel like you're really supported by someone that knows what they're talking about.
Yes.
Has been super valuable. Okay. I love that.
Yeah. Well, and with the constant change, I mean, you guys know, you're in the industry. It changes literally all the time. So when you think you're an expert, the next week you're not, because something changed. But I feel like your team, and Zach is who we deal with, right? So I feel like Zach is totally on his game, and he is like open and honest about, okay, that's new. Let's try and figure that out. So it's not I'm a perfect, I know all of it, even though he really does. Like, he must do a lot of research on the background, or your team is really kicking it in. But it feels like he can roll with the punches, because that's what it is.
I love that. What do you think has been one of the biggest outcomes that you guys have experienced working with us?
Well, I think, from a numbers perspective, we've certainly seen our online sales grow, which is our biggest goal with that. Eventually we want to transfer everything over to being online only.
Yeah.
And make that transition in the coming months. I think sometimes we struggle because we want it to happen even faster. But, when we sit back and look at the numbers of where we were online, and take the brick and mortar aspect out of it, we have been encouraged to see the growth that's happening there.
That's amazing.
That's been a big win for us, I think.
Yeah. So helping you guys transition that business from brick and mortar almost exclusively, and now really leaning into the online side and starting to see the growth there.
Yes. Yeah. And I think part of that has been talking about finding our niche and who we're marketing to, instead of just the people who are walking through the door. How are we going to find specific people who are out there who want to shop with us versus everybody else who's out there? And so a big portion of that has been trying to discover exactly who we're targeting. And Zach's been really helpful in that.
Amazing. So that guidance and that coaching has been such a core part of your guys' progression.
Yes.
Last question for you girls is, tell me a little about like the community aspect of the calls and the coaching. Has that been valuable?
I think so. I really enjoy hearing what other people are doing, and their trial and error too. So it's good to be able to bounce questions off of, or if you're like, okay, so what do you guys think about this or this? And it just is nice to have that community.
Yeah. And even, they think of things we don't think of or whatever. So that's always helpful. But then even like we're all cheering each other on. So
Yeah.
like everybody's commenting on posts or things like that, when you know that's something that maybe that person struggled with, and you see they got through that and they went for it and stuff like that. We're all cheering for each other. So it's really nice to have a community of people who are like excited to see your business blossom.
Yeah. Yeah.
The like-mindedness and just I mean, we're all feeling the same pains and all the same emotions. So it's nice to be able to have that. Mhm.
I love that. Yeah. It's a lot more fun to run as a group.
Yeah.
One of the things that's such a challenge about being an entrepreneur and a founder is sometimes it feels really lonely.
Yeah.
You know, you can't talk about, like, sometimes with your significant other, they're sick of hearing about it, you know,
Yeah.
and like sometimes you can't really talk about your friends because they might have a preconceived notion of like what it's like. And so unless you're in it, it's really hard to understand the challenges. And I think that's one of the key aspects of this crew is being able to open up and feel that support and do things together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see
Awesome.
that. Mhm.
That's fantastic. Well, you girls are rocking and rolling in the program. Thank you so much for your time and really appreciate your feedback.
Thank
Yeah.
you.